happy Friday. Welcome to The Edge and the voices and the roundtable. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Another
happy
hell of a
Friday.
week.
Living the dream.
Dang. Oh, the nightmare, the dream.
I don't know if it's a dream.
I don't know. Who do we have at our table tonight? We have August, Maureen, Mo, Katie, Roseanne, Andrea, and Keisha. And of course, I'm Kim Page. So we have some shit to talk about tonight.
Just a bit.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
fired up too, eh?
I don't know. So, we usually have some kind of theme, right? And it usually has something to do with what's currently in the news. So tonight, I felt like we should ask the simple question, are the rules applied equally? Or when it's politically convenient? So when it comes to the Epstein files, certain names dominate the headlines. Depositions are demanded, the cameras roll, outrage spikes. But if accountability is the standard, then it has to be the standard for everyone, not just the people I was trying to think of the right way to say this. Not just the people we dislike, I guess, or the people that are of opposite viewpoints. So we've talked about this a lot on this show, and we know that proximity isn't proof of guilt, but when there's a lot of proximity, we really kind of have to ask the question. So the flight logs, all the names in the files, none of this is partisan, because I think every one of us here agree, regardless of Democrat or Republican, if you committed a crime, you need to be held accountable for it. Am I right?
Yes.
For sure.
Okay.
Except if you're the president.
Absolutely. So that's what we've been seeing for the last few days, is, to me, a double standard. This isn't about protecting personalities. It's about protecting credibility. And once the public starts believing that there are different rules for different sides, we've talked about this, trust erodes. We've talked about this till I think we're blue in the face, because there is no trust anymore in this government, in this administration. So tonight we kind of want to look at that and tie other topics to it as well, and really take a look at what is the pattern that we're seeing here. So to kick it off, we all saw Hillary Clinton's opening statements, correct? And we saw her talk about, which I just applauded her and applauded her and applauded her, because I think she did run circles around the Republicans in this case. So I just want to read a couple things to remind us what she said. So her very opening, Mr. Chairman, ranking member, members of the committee, as a former senator, I have respect for this legislative oversight, and I expect its exercise, as do the American people, to be principled and fearless in pursuit of truth and accountability. So she goes on, as we know, congressional investigations can be partisan. The committee justified its subpoena to me, she's talking about herself, based on its assumption that I have information regarding the investigations, which she made it clear she does not. She stated that in a sworn testimony. So she says, Mr. Chairman, your investigation is supposed to be assessing the federal government's handling of the investigations and prosecutions of Epstein and his crimes. She goes on and talks about the FBI, you can read it, it's online. She says, you have held 0 public hearings, refused to allow the media to attend them, including today, despite espousing the need for transparency on dozens of occasions. You have made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently in the Epstein files And when you did, not a single Republican member showed up. And I'm going to stop that right here. Is that kind of, I mean, she laid it out to them, which I love. And so I do just want to play, before we get into the conversation about what y'all thought about what she said. I love her. She's just so calm and so together. I love this.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening. Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew. And what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we had agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand. And one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward. And we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet, that was serving as the basis of a member's questions to me. So I can only say that the best exchange that I had came at the very end, when, contrary to every other deposition they have taken, no Republican member asked any questions about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell to anyone else they have deposed. And in fact, the Republican members didn't even show up for the deposition of Les Wexner. And when I said that, I had to point out that the only questions that any Republican member asked of any of the people they deposed was of former Attorney General Bill Barr, when Chairman Comer asked him about the allegations, in his view, about Russia's involvement in my election in 2016. So at the very end of this hearing, after I made that point, I want to commend Chairman Comer for raising a series of significant questions that I responded to about the nature of the investigation and the areas that I thought should be explored. So I appreciated that. I want to see the truth come out. So that was a reassuring way to end a very long, repetitive deposition.
You're muted, Kim.
Yeah, got it. So we'll stop there. We're not going to play the whole thing. I want to get your thoughts on this part of it before we move on to President Clinton.
So Don said something, I think it was yesterday, that really hit me. And he was talking about how the two women that were nominated for president were the first and second most qualified people to ever try to hold the office. And yet both of them lost to this idiot that we have to deal with. And it's just like, Hillary Clinton is not somebody that you mess with. Not only is that woman brilliant, but look at her credentials and look at everything that woman has gone through in her life. Like you don't mess with her. And there's those Republicans are just so stupid that they think they're going to get a gotcha moment from her. There's no way.
And I think that the only reason, excuse me, that Hillary Clinton lost is because of James Comey interfering in the election. Because, I mean, he came out with less than 2 weeks before election and gave information that he should have kept to himself as far as the voting rules in our country. So she should have won. She should have won, and Kamala should have won. But I don't think people know what their best interests are anymore.
Well, she is 100% that, as Lizzo would say. And the fact that she probably has been one of the most qualified people to ever run for the presidency, given her background in politics and everything else. It says more about us as a nation, honestly, that we would pass on her, we would pass on Kamala, and both times for this idiot. That says a lot about us as a nation, you know, more about us than about them, honestly.
And you see how poised and measured she was as she was at that lectern. And then you think about Nancy Mace saying that she was screaming and unhinged. I have never seen Hillary Clinton behave in an unhinged, screaming manner.
Yeah. So projection much? Projection much? That's all I have to say. Yeah. And I'm so happy that every time Robert Garcia is at the mic, he is saying that when the video is released, let's hope that it is the unedited raw footage of what actually happened, because you can see every time they're at the podium, they're trying to create this narrative for everyone to believe. And then they're going to go and they're going to edit this and they're going to edit that. And what they put out is going to mirror what they're saying at the podium, because that's how stupid their base is. Not the American people at large, but their base. And that is all that they're trying to feed at this point, is their base.
And I want to read the transcript of that depo, because that you cannot alter a transcript, especially now, because it is digitized. In the old days, they had a court reporter sitting in there doing this, but, you know, and she or he may have missed something. But when it's digitized now, there's no way.
But they can cut it out. It might be digitized, but they can cut it out.
Yeah.
It can be manipulated. It can.
I would hope, August, that they would not do that, but I wouldn't put anything past them. But,
neither will I.
You know, but as far as Hillary, I mean, I agree with Momo. She is so poised and calm. And I think Molly is the one who said in the chat, she's calm and she knows her stuff. She is extremely intelligent and she's been there, done that, you know, tons of t-shirts. So for it. But anyways,
Yeah.
just my thoughts.
No, I agree. I think she's an interesting woman. I think she should have won in 2016. But yeah, she's brilliant, but also common sense and gives us the truth, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe most of the truth. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I do admire her a lot.
So let's talk about her husband then. So President Clinton was in today. Because I was so busy getting everything ready, I had not heard the latest, if he's done, I haven't seen if we had a video come out yet of Clinton, of Hillary. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about his opening statement, and then we'll go to Garcia for a little bit before we transition on. So, I was going to read this. I had this open. All right. Hang on a second. That's what happens when you have to reboot your computer after you have everything ready to go.
His statement is on the screen.
Yeah, I know, but I can't read it.
Oh.
I'm on my laptop. It's
Sorry.
too damn small for this old lady.
Sorry.
Okay. So he says, good morning, all that. So I'm here today for two reasons. The first is that I love my country, and America was built upon the idea that no person is above the law, even presidents, especially presidents. I love that he says that. Democracy requires every person to play their part. And I hope that by being here today, we can bring ourselves a little further away from the brink and back to being a country where we can disagree with one another civilly, where the search for truth and justice outweighs the partisan urge to score points and create spectacle. I'll do my part, and I hope you'll do yours. So you can read the rest of it. I'll swoop down to the end. He says, you'll often hear me say that I don't recall. And that might be unsatisfying, but I'm not going to say something that I'm not sure of. This was all a long time ago, and I'm bound by my oath not to speculate or guess. This is not merely for my benefit, but because it doesn't help you for me to play detective 24 years later. Since I'm under oath, I will not falsely state that I am looking forward to your questions. I love that he says that. But I am ready to answer them to best of my abilities, consistent with the facts as I know them, the legitimate, the logical, and even the outlandish. With that, Mr. Chairman, fire away. I love him still. So,
Good old Southern boy.
oh, yeah. So let's just listen to a little bit of Garcia, and then we'll go from there.
It's not on.
Yeah. Is Kim frozen? Oh, no, she's not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
while
know-
Kim is loading that, let's just like and subscribe, and please give a comment. You guys are kind of quiet today, maybe because Jazzy is not at 100%. Our reporter out there, but someone else
Feel
can
better,
step up
Roman
and
reporter.
be
Can you hear?
our
Can you hear it?
roving reporter.
No,
No,
there's
we
nothing
can't
on.
even see it.
It's just us on the screen.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so
There we
we're
go.
having a
Okay,
little-
here we go.
Yeah,
Here
you
we go.
gotta yell so I can hear.
Oh, okay.
Or go.
I'm gonna pull a Don, call her Boomer.
I don't identify with boomers. Identify with Gen X. But old people be knowing. Old people be knowing.
That's us.
Both the Democratic side and the Republican side as the afternoon goes on. I want to just reiterate a couple things that have been made, which are important. The first is that we're thankful that President Clinton came in and answered tough questions from both the minority party and the majority party. We also think it's important to note that he made some of these statements in his opening statement. He made it clear once again that he does not understand, nor do we, why we spent so much time yesterday grilling Secretary Clinton when she obviously had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein and had never met Jeffrey Epstein. We also want to reiterate, I want to think it's important for us to know, our call yesterday, because of transparency, it is so important that we continue to release both Secretary Clinton's deposition and President Clinton's deposition. Both of the Clintons are committed to these records getting out as soon as possible, and Oversight Democrats agree. The best way of going forward is for there to be transparency and a full public record, and we're demanding that that record not be edited, but just a full recording of what transpired yesterday, what will continue to transpire today for the course of the day. And finally, let me just also say once again that we have a new precedent in this country. We can now demand president and former presidents to testify in front of the Oversight Committee. So we are once again demanding that now President Trump, who is in the Epstein files almost more than anyone else besides Ghislaine Maxwell, answer our questions. This is not a hoax. He has not been exonerated, and we have serious questions for President Trump. Well, that one, a couple questions.
Okay, so we won't listen to the questions, but let me pull that on. Okay, it's funny that they keep saying we want full transparency, we want the complete video, we want all, because they know, right? They know that there's a potential that that's not going to happen. So thoughts on President Clinton? What have you heard?
Well, he did not come out and give a statement after it was just his opening statement, and he didn't come out and speak afterwards. So I'm sure that we're going to hear a lot of speculation and things like that as to what went on. Just listening to the Republicans when they came out and started talking about it, it's just so evident that they're building a narrative. They even mentioned the word perjury in reference to Hillary Clinton, which is ridiculous. They're trying to create this narrative before any of the transcripts or any of the video or anything can come out, because they know that their audience to whom they're speaking will not bother to learn the truth. They will just go with the sound bites and everything that they're saying and that they're putting out there. But my feeling is that what we witnessed in Hillary Clinton yesterday when she came out is probably, they're probably twinning at this point, because they're both brilliant people. They're both lawyers. And so they could be nothing but prepared for whatever they had going on in there.
Speaking of the Republican response, what I thought was interesting is if you juxtapose how they responded to Hillary's testimony compared to how they responded to Bill Clinton's testimony, it was night and day. Mm-hmm. They were joking, they were smiling about it. I swear to God, Nancy Mace must have a crush on the man, the way she was just like giddy about having been in the same room as him. And it's like, the Republicans have hated Hillary Clinton for a long, long time. And it is so obvious. It's not just misogyny. They have something out for that woman.
Yeah, that was very obvious. That's a good point, Keisha. I thought the same thing.
Hillary Clinton is like the perfect example of, yes, you can be married and have a great partner, but you're also an independent woman who can do whatever she puts her mind to. And I think that when Republicans especially see that, they get all nervous and get all scared. Like, I don't even think some of them realize that, like, she is a lawyer. And they're trying to throw, like, all these terms out like they know what they're talking about. No. Do your research.
I think it's funny they want to depose Bill and Hillary, and then when it came to Donald Trump, they said, well, he said he didn't do it, and we know he didn't do it. We don't need to depose him. That was so funny to me.
Well, he's already a felon.
Okay.
What about Melania? What about Melania?
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
somebody said today, you just grab them by the PU, and he said that, and that's nothing. You come up and grab mine, boy, I'm going.
I think he also said at one point on the Howard Stern show that his age limit was like 12. And that was years ago.
Yeah.
And he already got a felony for sexual assault. I'm sorry, SA.
Well, there's clearly a double standard here, right? They have now President Clinton, yes, I think he needed to answer to some things. He was in the files quite a bit. Hillary.
Yeah, but
Sometimes I think they just wanted him there. Like, was it Mo? You were saying it's like they're all fanboys or something, and they
I
just.
think that was Keisha, but yeah. And I was old enough, when Clinton was president. He was a very charming man, very charming man. With all of his faults and everything. So I cannot imagine him sitting there before them after having gone through the Monica Lewinsky of it all. Come at me, boys. Whatever you need to ask me, just go ahead and ask me. There, he is completely transparent. He was saying from the very beginning, when they first started putting pictures of him out, he said, let's just release it all. Let's just release it all. I have nothing to hide. Release it all.
Today they called it Southern Charm, his Southern Charm.
I got to see him in New Orleans at a conference many years ago. And there were two Republicans sitting next to us, and that's why I bring that up. And that's the first time I've ever seen the president talk. He was amazing. He truly was amazing, and he could just go on and on and on. And the two Republicans said, "Oh my God, he really is brilliant," and he was. He was amazing.
Yeah,
was,
absolutely.
He's
Everyone,
a scholar.
Yeah, have we?
He was a Rhodes Scholar. Sorry.
Oh yeah, brilliant people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but with Clinton, he only said one person. With Donald Trump, he just said he'd walk up to any woman and do it. That was it.
I'd like to see what would happen if he tried to do that to Hillary. Boom. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, I have one more quick little clip to play, and then we're going to transition to Katie. So I thought this was a little interesting.
It looks fucking terrible. It looks terrible. It looks terrible for Trump when he was saying that none of this was real. This is all a hoax. This is not a hoax. And if you've got redacted people's names and these people aren't victims, you're not protecting the victim. So what are you doing?
Right.
And how come all this shit is not released? It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy because, like, why have you protected people? So we know Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem sent the torture video to Epstein. This is in 2009. What the fuck, man? And why is his name redacted? Why would your name be redacted if you're not a victim? Like, this is what's crazy about all this. Like, how come you redact some people and you don't redact other people? None of this is good for this administration.
That's a great question, but we all know why. It's interesting. People are coming around.
I guess welcome to the resistance, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Welcome to reality.
It only took you 13 months, but okay.
Ugh, these people. I can't.
I don't know.
No.
Okay, so
no.
Hopefully the videos will come out and the transcripts will come out and we'll be able to kind of take a look at those and see
We
what
can only
actually
hope.
went on in there. Yeah, hopefully they're not messed with like the Epstein files have been. So, Katie, I'm going to turn it over to you. You have some interesting news for us.
So I saw that sometimes I'll watch those crazy Piers Morgan panels just to see who's on them. And I came across one, I think it was from Wednesday, of Brian Tyler Cohen and Riley Gaines. And let me tell y'all, it's a bit of a doozy. But like, I'm so I just wanted to bring to attention what Riley Gaines talks about, because I'm so tired of people like her talking about this is what real Americans and Americanism looks like. So I'll let the clip
Okay.
do
Let
the
me get
talking.
it up here. It was.
Yeah. It's.
You just tell me when you want to stop.
Okay.
So I have it queued up. Okay.
To Ellis Island and went through the process to become
That's the mayor of Newark.
citizens, if they were stopped in the middle of that process, in the middle of their hearing, and arrested and dragged through the streets and thrown out of the country and deported, people would think that was wrong then, and I think it's wrong now.
Okay, Riley Gaines, your response to that?
Yeah, well, I guess just to provide a little color to that, my husband is a legal immigrant. He came to the United States from England back in 2018. He did everything the right way. I would describe my husband, I mean, I guess fully Brit, although now has his green card in the process for citizenship. I would describe him as more American than a lot of Americans who are currently citizens. He loves this country. He understands the freedoms that we have. He sees the trajectory of England, quite frankly. He is so grateful to be here. To your point, I do think our legal immigration system certainly needs reform. I think that process needs to be sped up and made more efficient. But my husband, he respects ICE officers. And President Trump, the address that we heard last night, you have to acknowledge the things that he said are the things that he campaigned on. It's the things that we voted for. So in talking about mass deportations or closing down the border, 77 million Americans turned out to the polls in November of 2024. That's what we voted for. So to see an entire political party, I mean, in terms of elected representation and even how the mainstream media presents itself, who is totally unwilling to concede in any form or fashion to the point where they're not even able to say that their main priority is to protect Americans. I don't understand how that's not a disqualifying statement by, again, federally elected members of Congress. It seems to me as if that's an act of treason. If you can't even pledge allegiance to your own nation, that's a total act of betrayal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, do you think if you're in the country illegally, you've committed a crime?
In terms of being here illegally, I mean, as the mayor said, there are civil offenses versus criminal offenses, and I think that conflating the two is a major issue. I would respond to Riley's statement before. I don't understand what is with this conservative movement to qualify somebody's Americanness. Who are you to say that somebody is more or less American because of their adherence to certain political issues? Isn't that inherently un-American?
I guess my question for you is then just that: what is an American to you?
It's whatever you want to be. We have freedom to do, to believe in, to say, to practice whatever religion we want to. And so it's so bizarre to me for you to say, "Oh, my husband is more American because he salutes the flag and likes ICE officers." Who are you? Who is your husband to determine whether somebody is more or less American because of who they support?
If your definition to what is an American is anything you want to be, whoever says whatever they want to be can be an American, which is the exact same answer you guys give to the question, the very dreaded, controversial question of what is a woman, then are you saying that someone who currently resides in South Africa, who has never even been to America, who says they are an American, I guess by your definition,
this is such a bad faith reading of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My question for you
but that was
is,
your exact
you just
answer.
said your husband is more American than somebody else because he
You can stop
supports
it there.
ICE agents. So explain to me how.
Well, can I just jump in real quick on this?
Go for it.
That was
Okay,
painful.
two things. All right. One, you're entitled to your opinion as far as you feeling that your husband is so American, but you can't denigrate everyone else. Your husband haven't experienced ice pushing you in snow. Your husband haven't experienced him taking up for you and ice coming and taking you down and shooting you in the back. Your husband haven't experienced him walking down the street and being asked, let me see your papers. So until you walk in those people's shoes, you need to refrain and try to understand what everyone else is feeling. See, a lot of them can speak on it because they haven't experienced it. They sit in their glass houses and no rocks are being penetrated. That's my first point. But I'll let someone else speak and I'll give you my second.
No, that was glorious. And I wanted to just bring attention to this because there's, these people, this is how they think. This is how they feel, like, because they're white and because, like, well, look at Riley Gaines with her husband. She's like, well, my husband's from England. Cool. So he likes to do the Pledge of Allegiance, so that makes him more American than the people who are trying to protect our Constitution. Like, the hypocrisy is just, it's insane. And I thought Brian Tyler Cohen had the perfect clapbacks for her. Like, he's so good.
He did. He did. He did. One thing, we all voted for this. All these millions of immigrants that came over that are undocumented, which is a lie, number one. He campaigned on criminals, the worst of the worst, were going to be deported. This is not how they're going about it. Exactly what August said. Pulling people out of cars, going into people's homes, pissing all over the Constitution and the rule of law, killing American citizens. That's not American. That's not American at all.
And Kim, the majority is the brown and black people that they're going after. They're looking for skin color. They're looking for accents. What now? Her husband might be from England, but what is the color of his skin? I mean, I don't even know who that individual is. I don't care to know her, but
she's that crazy swimmer that comes for Finn.
Oh,
yeah, that girl.
Girl.
She looks like the life-size version of Megan, that creepy doll.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Yeah, and I'm so tired of this narrative that, like, America is supposed to be all star-spangled awesome and, do the Pledge of Allegiance every day it's just.
Let's respond. Can you put that comment back up?
Yeah, that's it.
We need to.
That's a disingenuous argument. And I hate it when people say that. When you're talking about immigration reform, when you're talking about the process in which people become American citizens. And there are many reasons why or how they come over. They're seeking asylum. It's an emergency. They're fleeing from something. That is not open borders. That is not open borders. It's a disingenuous argument to ask, if you're not for what's going on now, then you must be for open borders. No, we are in need of immigration reform. We are in need of a process that doesn't take decades to become a citizen. That is what we are in need of. We are in need of comprehensive immigration reform. It's not about open or closed borders.
And not thousands of dollars either. A friend of mine just went through it. Luckily, he did get his papers in 2024. It took him 12 years, and it cost him $20,000 with the attorneys. That's ridiculous.
And we're not for people getting killed on the street either.
And something we have when people are okay with open borders. Is it when your ancestors came over from Germany and didn't have to fill out any paperwork or pay any money and just had to show that they weren't sick? Is it when they came over from sorry, Roseanne, from Italy. And
No, it's okay.
no,
And my grandfather came over on a boat, so it's cool. You're cool.
and there was no process for a lot of people.
No.
But suddenly, open borders are a problem for other people. I'm not saying I'm a fan of open borders, but when is the line, like what is the line of demarcation when it's okay for people to come over without having to go through a process? Because if we were to play this game, a lot of people are not here legally, especially if we're going to overturn birthright citizenship, because that means a lot of people don't belong here legally.
Right.
But
I think it only
are
became
they
a
to
problem when
say-
it only
who are
became
they
a
to
problem.
say that birthright is not legal. I mean, the only people, let's just keep it 100, everyone. The Native Americans are the only ones that occupied this land. We stole it. And
Now
we keep forgetting that.
They stole it.
Well, we worked it. No,
And then
we worked it.
And they brought us
They
over to
stole it.
work it.
Well, if you're holding me to brass tab, I'm telling it like it is. They stole it. Okay?
That's
we
right.
worked it.
We
all right?
worked it.
We
Right.
built it. We put heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears in it. And a lot of them died for it.
I honestly believe that immigration only became a problem once this civil rights, movement was ended and the immigration became more open to Black and brown countries. Then all of a sudden, immigration is a problem because before that,
it was the Chinese.
Yes, and that's what I mean. It's like.
Because they're brown.
Asian people were able to come over after Black folk, won their citizenship and opened up immigration to other Black and brown countries. And then, all of a sudden it's a problem. We have too many immigrants coming over. And when the Irish first came over here, they were looked down upon. When the Italians came over here, they were looked down upon. Everybody was looked down upon. But then when all these Black and brown people started coming over here, then all of a sudden everybody else was white. And the Black and brown people were a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the hypocrisy of the whole thing. And that's why I just say it's not even an argument that I like to have with people because it's disingenuous. Given the history of our country, it's disingenuous.
All great points. Yeah.
Some things too, we just have to realize, and they go on about it later in the show, is if you are in this country illegally, it's not even like a go to jail, it's a misdemeanor.
Yeah, it's a ticket, like a traffic ticket.
And the other thing too is I hate when they love to spew facts about like, oh well, this illegal alien killed a 5-year-old girl with a truck. How many white people do shit like that every day? Like, stop with these facts and start looking up stuff about white people and like crime within white families. I just wanted to bring light to this, but I'm just tired of these people too.
Outspoken white woman, thank you for saying it.
What I'm here for.
All right. So
you do a good job, Katie.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. That was great to bring to light. That was a great clip. So let's move on to our next topic, near and dear to our hearts. Miss Andrea, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, I wanted to talk about the SAVE Act. I don't know who we saving, me or you, but we need to know more about the 5 things of identification and why you need identification and who's what. But I want to begin with citizenship is already required to vote, and instances of non-citizenship voting are rare. We keep trying to say that all of the elections are being stolen by people that aren't from here. In effect, the Save American Act introduces a documentation requirement for a law that has existed for decades. The Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996 explicitly prohibits non-citizens from voting in federal elections. Registrations and voting attempts by non-citizens are routinely investigated and persecuted by the appropriate authorities. And there is no evidence that attempts at voting by non-citizens have ever been significant enough to impact any election outcome. In fact, there is ample evidence to indicate that registration and voting by non-citizens is few and far between. And the other night I talked about where in Utah they did a test, and they tested from April 25 through January of 26. After a time-intensive, multi-step review of more than 2 million people, and that's what I wanted to answer to August. She asked me the other day, it was 2 million people that were registered voters. They identified only one confirmed instance of non-citizen registration and 0 instances of non-citizen voting. So one registered, but they didn't vote, so because they caught it. And 2, many eligible citizens don't have documentary proof of citizenship. Say if we did have to, get them to get the correct documents. 9% of all eligible voters do not have easy access to documentary proof of citizenship. 52% of registered voters do not have an unexpired passport with their current legal name. 11% of registered voters do not have access to their birth certificate. Well, a lot of people, they're just walking around. We just walk around the United States because we didn't need to, provide proof of citizenship. Even if voters were to provide documentary proof of citizenship, verifying the authenticity of those documents, it is an inherently complex task, one that election officials and motor vehicle departments often don't have the resources or training to perform. They don't even have the stuff. There are better ways to verify citizenship that put the responsibility on government and not voters. They have front-end verification where the burden of proof is put on the citizen. And then they have back-end verification that is put on the government. And it is a time-intense thing, and they don't even have enough employees, and they don't like a lot of government employees. So they haven't been able to do it. And they would have to also give you the time you would need to even get the correct documents. The Save American Act could have unintended consequences for election officials and the voters who register by mail. The Save America Act requires documentary proof of citizenship to be delivered in person to an election office, effectively nullifying the benefits of mail registration. So they don't even want it. They don't even want you to mail it in. They don't care. The Save America Act needs more time and resources to be implemented well. So I know it's a big target point for the Trump administration. They're just trying to figure out another way to steal the election. And so right now, again, just to let you know, they don't have the employees or the information in a database to even access it. It is very time intensive.
Well, the thing is, it's like Kim said earlier, the states have to verify your citizenship before you can register to vote already. Mm-hmm. So many of these things that they're talking about are to hide the fact that hidden inside this SAVE Act is the fact that they want to send DHS all the voter rolls of every state. So that means Miss Christy Nome will have your voter information, and then they can decide who they want to keep on the rolls and who they want to purge from the rolls. This just puts the onus on the citizen, where the onus is already on the state. No one is saying that you should not be able to identify yourself or prove your citizenship when you're voting, but that's already done at the time of registration. So by the time you show up at the polls, they've already verified you. They've verified your identity. They've verified your citizenship. So all of this is just redundant.
Again, in the SAVE Act, what has come out is all the information is not updated. So all the information in these databases is not always accurate. And the other thing is people are getting the SAVE Act confused with the Real ID. The Real ID, they say, replaces all the other IDs, and then they get to check to see if you're not, like you said, a real citizen, but they don't, they say in their own documentation, they say they don't have the staffing to even verify all this information. So I don't even know what we're doing at this point, other than it's a talking point for the Trump administration, because he's saying he don't have the employees or the manpower, or the same thing, employees or manpower to put all this stuff in a database.
Well, plus it becomes a voting tax. Just real quick, it becomes a voting tax in essence, because people have to pay for all this extra documentation and the time it takes to get it, and pay for all these new IDs or passport or whatever.
If they really wanted us to properly vote, they would make all those services free.
Correct.
Yes. I was just going to say that, Katie, if they were really concerned about voting and giving every citizen the opportunity to vote, you'd be able to get all that, anything that you needed for free.
And I also, me personally, I think they would register you to vote at 18 when you're graduating from high school. You know, when
that's how it used to be.
That's how it did.
That's how it did. Can I just get this out?
Yeah, August wanted to chime in there. So.
That's what it used to be. They used to register you at 18 because they wanted you to vote free. There's a different mindset that is at work right now. I just want to go back to the Real ID and also Enhanced ID. The Real ID is for travel. It was so that you domestically can fly domestically within the 52 states within United States. The Enhanced take it a little further with you in order to. When Trump came in, he abolished that, and he's trying to put it into the SAVE Act so that everybody have to show up and pay more money so he can steal more money. So let's just keep it to brass tabs, because I know we talk about it. The SAVE Act is one thing, and Marley, I hope you really educate those ladies in line to let them know the difference between all of these, what the SAVE Act is about. And as Keisha mentioned, they do not have enough votes for it, what the Real ID is, and also the Enhanced ID.
Right.
And if you explain it, they get confused in the middle of the sentence. So.
And really, the SAVE Act, in my humble opinion, is to disenfranchise women. The women,
and it is, because you're right.
Yeah, because most women change their name when they get married. Okay. Note to self: should I ever get married again? Not changing my name. There's no way.
I never did. Because you have to show the transition from how you went from your maiden name to your married name, and then this married name to another married name. And I really got trouble with mine. I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah. Still, Derek, I think we explained, I think Mo did it, explained it very well. The states verify citizenship when you register to vote.
Right.
That's the bottom line. So when you say, do you want 30 million people who have a license only to be able to vote? You have to be registered to vote. Someone with just a license can't walk in and vote. You have to be registered to vote.
Sorry, Kim.
And-
Still, Derek, you're showing your true colors. You're showing that you never voted because you would know that. When you show
Right.
up and you tell them, they look you up. Trust me, you're either
Yeah,
on
it's not like you just walk in, wave your ID, and run away.
You're
Yeah,
either on
exactly.
computer or you're in a big list that they go through and ask you your last name and your first name. So still, you
Yes.
just told me you're not a voter.
Yeah, and show me the proof of that. That 70% of the Democrats want this to pass. Yeah, you
No.
don't know what you're talking about. Get
No.
out of here.
Okay, so Andrea, did you want me to show this this information, or you actually talked about it, so we don't need to show it?
I talked about it on Tuesday, and I thought it was important enough because they brought it up on a show I was watching on TV the other day. That it needed to be talked about some more. And yeah, you can say citizenship is already a requirement to vote, and instances of non-citizenship voting are rare.
Yeah, they did all 5 of these right here, right?
That's right. And I can read. Okay, I can read it from there. If you, well, I did read those 5, but I can read.
Yeah, you read those 5. Okay, I just want to make sure that you covered everything you wanted that was on here. So,
well, I'll go over the 5 again if you want.
No, we got it.
You
we
got
got
it.
it.
You got it,
Yeah,
Kim?
I just want to make sure. Yep, we got it.
Okay.
We'll save your funny for the end, if that's okay.
Okay, and then the only thing I want to say again is the Save America Act needs more time and resources to be implemented well.
Yes.
This is also a solution looking for a problem because it's not a problem. This is not a problem where there's a bunch of illegal immigrants trying to vote. And every time you find out that someone has voted illegally, it's usually a Republican citizen.
Yep. They register
disenfranchising voters. That's
they
all.
register as their dead mother or their dog.
Yeah.
Well, he's still trying to get the story out that the 2020 election was, voters fraud, and now he's trying to say that 2028 is going to be voters fraud, and 2026 midterms are going to be voters fraud. He's just trying to figure out a way to either steal the election again, or that he wants to do what's the war when what's the war he wants us to fight, and I forgot the word it is right now.
The Insurrection Act he wants.
Not the insurrection one, where he can martial law. He wants to implement martial law so he can take control and still be in office and tell everybody what to do. But all the stuff he's doing is not honest.
Well, again, we say this over and over and over again. It's funny that every election is riddled with fraud, except for the one he won.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Right there, you should kind of go, okay, common sense would say, but then he twists that and says, well, I should have won way more.
And then other Republicans, they don't fight it. The Republicans that win their ticket, they don't fight it, and they're on the same ticket as him. They don't fight that they won.
There's a lot of common sense that people are ignoring nowadays.
Yeah. God, what happened to it? I miss it.
Me too.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Andrea, was that it?
Yeah, like I said, it can be open for a topic a lot of times, but right now, I'm
yeah, we need to continue to cover all of these topics, and we try to come back to it. Okay, let's turn to Keisha. Oops, sorry.
I'm being cheered on by the dog. So there is a really interesting movement happening in Denmark. Kim, if you could play the video. It's just audio, so don't expect to see moving pictures.
Okay.
Okay. All righty.
Is a lady called Louisa Morup. She started a movement to knit dresses for female statues in public spaces all over Denmark. There's apparently a total of 1,538 statues found in the Danish landscape. That's a number given by the Museum of Art and Public Spaces. And only apparently 43 of those are women of historical significance. And then there's 120 statues of naked or partially naked women. And then the men are mostly clothed. So this lady has started a movement to knit dresses for those naked female statues, to start a conversation about how do we view women in their body. And then now there's a whole discussion about whether is that vandalism or is it a movement. Another topic we can discuss today is a lady called Louisa Morup. She started a movement to
Is that it? Oh,
yes.
okay.
If you could put up the threads post.
The other one, yeah. Let me bring this down, and then. You
well, I think if the ladies, the men are all dressed, the women should be too.
It's a good point. Why are there so many naked statues of women?
Just women. They said the men have on pants.
Because the female body is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
I agree with that, but it's not usually women who are making these statues.
Yeah, you're true. Yeah, that's true.
So if you could click on the images.
Oh, on the images. Okay.
Oh, there's one.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, is that a joke?
It's a fashion show.
I like
Those
it.
are cute.
What you need to put on? She only got on a shawl.
You had on before?
I don't know how you'd put pants on that though.
Well, you could put a skirt around it.
A skirt. It has to be a skirt. Did you want to
Okay.
read any of these, or is it just the pictures?
Just the pictures. I just wanted to touch on the fact that in the video they mentioned that of the few statues of women that they have in Denmark, even smaller subset of those statues are women of historical significance. Otherwise, they're just statues of naked women. Meanwhile, the men are like military figures. They're public figures. They're politicians. Like they have all these celebrations for men who did something important, and women, it's just like, look at their bodies. Let's just throw up statues of naked women. Which, yes, women have beautiful figures. But again, when I think about the burgeoning of the matriarchy, women take more control over how we are viewed by society as part of this. And so I really respect what this woman is doing.
Yeah.
You know, Italy has it right, though. They have beautiful naked men and women, and there's something better than Michelangelo. Not Michelangelo, but David.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You had to go to the Louvre to get equal nakedness.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting. That is very interesting, though. I love the. I want her to knit me a dress. Those are cute.
All right.
What Keisha said, if the men are covered, I just think the women should be covered.
I agree. I agree.
At least a few fig leaves. I mean, really.
Yeah. I'm not going.
All right, thank you, Keisha. So we're running over a little bit, but it's time for August on the move. She's on the move. What do you got, August?
You muted.
Where'd she go?
She's muted. You bored her.
She's a boomer.
No, I'm not.
August on the move. There
It
she
won't
is.
unmute me.
You know, I was having that same trouble. I thought it was me. It was
No, StreamYard's acting up. StreamYard's doing
I
funky
was
things.
muting and unmuting, and
It's a mutiny.
And she's muted again.
Sorry.
See, it keeps putting me back on mute.
yeah, it did me
Maureen,
too.
I know you would love for me to be a boomer
No, we wouldn't.
with you. But it's okay, dear.
Well, Don already knows I am, so.
It is February 27th, and it's Friday, and I want to take you into the quick headlines that you need to know what's going on. From a political side, an investigation, Donald Trump has expressed unhappiness with Iran's nuclear talks while considering military options. He's always the peacemaker, isn't he? Economic and business news, stocks fell in trading this afternoon due to higher than expected inflation reports, increasing concerns over AI related disruption. International and defense. A U.S. official confirmed a laser weapon was used to down a customs and border protection drone near the U.S. Mexican border. Additional, Pakistan has declared a severe conflict with Afghanistan with reports of airstrikes in Kabul. That is heating up. Please pay attention in that space. Technology and science. NASA is undergoing a major overhaul of its Artemis moon program to address safety concerns and reduce risks. Government agencies are raising alarms about the use of Elon Musk's Grok. So I know we have a fan from Anitra, but Grok has serious security issues. So they're looking into it. Local and general news. And here in New York City, 2 men were arrested for the hate crimes in Chelsea. And Mayor Eric Adams is seeking to dismiss federal bribery charges against him. So,
He'll dismiss his own charges?
wait a minute. Mayor, well, he's not the mayor anymore. So,
Okay. He's seeking to get it dismissed. Okay.
yes, so he's seeking that. So it continues. But today will be the last day that we talk about Black history. And I just want to share this with you. If it will play for me. Maybe we're running out of space, is it?
No, it's here.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
History, especially the ugly parts. There's always that one person in the comments like, why can't we just move on? Or why do you hate America so much? You can just leave. And to that, I say, you don't want to move on. You just want me to stop talking. Because if we were really over it, y'all wouldn't be grilling hot dogs in the name of a war from 1776. Let's talk about this fantasy y'all have where history is just over because it's uncomfortable to hear. Y'all say we should get over slavery, but you celebrate the Revolutionary War every year with fireworks and beer like it happened yesterday. You say Black people should stop bringing up segregation, but you'll wear a powdered wig to reenact the Boston Tea Party. You say we shouldn't dwell on the past, but you hang flags on 9/11 like a sacred ground and treat the Alamo like a church. So which is it? Is history important? Or is it only important when you get to feel proud? We talk about atrocities, slavery, genocide, sterilization, internment camps, and lynchings, not because we're stuck in the past, because the past is still shaping the present. Black neighborhoods are still underfunded. Native land is still being stolen. Prison labor is modern-day slavery. And the kids in Gaza are paying for policies that started decades before they were born. You cannot heal from a wound that you won't name. And the moment you say that was a long time ago, some law gets passed, some curriculum gets banned. And we're reminded that it's not over. It just evolved. You say, let's just celebrate the 4th of July. Cool, you're celebrating freedom that wasn't given to everybody. You say it's just Thanksgiving, it's about being thankful. Yeah, thankful for what? Land theft, broken treaties, smallpox blankets? You want the food, the fireworks, the flag, but not the facts. And that's the problem. The people who I'm talking to don't actually love history. They love a version of it. Cleaned up, whitewashed, and gift wrapped in nationalism. Learning about atrocities doesn't make us angry. It makes us informed. It makes us resistant to propaganda. It helps us recognize the patterns when they try to repeat them. And it gives us a compass, so we stop walking in circles pretending that it's progress. So now I'm not moving on, because this country hasn't. But the minute that it does, I'll be the first to light up a sparkler and sit down for a piece of pie. But until then, we're going to keep naming what they buried, because the truth doesn't expire, and freedom, it's not real if it only fits some of us.
Let's keep that remembrance. Remember, freedom belongs to everyone. We all need to stand up and be a part of this nation. Back over to you, Kim.
Thank you, August. And that was powerful. Smart girl.
Mm-hmm.
Smart girl. Okay, I wanted to show these real quick before we end tonight. They're short, but I thought maybe they give us a little hope. I don't know. We'll see. See what you think.
On a regular basis, you blow off steam. Let's imagine saying something like, "Not, I want to have this leaker found and executed." Let's imagine you're just blowing off. You're saying, "You know, if we would find that leaker, I'd like to take him out of the back of the White House on the South Lawn." As a matter of presidential temperament, is that the guy you want to have behind as the commander in chief? Your vice president is on Capitol Hill in the middle of a riot that you have incited, and the people at that riot are talking about lynching the vice president. You don't have to get all the way to Donald Trump was ordering the execution of staffers to think that this is a very dangerous temperament and a very dangerous mindset to have, and one that shows an enormous lack of respect for the office, for the seriousness of the position, and as someone who is not in control of himself in a way that you would want a president to be.
That was 2 years ago. That's before what people were trying to warn others about. This last one, something to keep our eyes on now. And then we'll call it a night.
Did you do mine?
What? Oh, it's coming. I got it.
Okay.
Gets out and says another lie. He knows through propaganda, the reinforcement of a lie, saying it over and over and over again. There's millions of people that believe him, even though they can see the thing clearly, they believe him. And that has worked throughout civilization. That worked in Nazi Germany. It worked in other places in the government. It's worked in Africa. It works in South America. And it's his playbook. And when you call him out on it, you end up on his enemies list. But he's not going to win. Okay. And I'm very, very clear about this. He is not going to win, because there's one thing about him that I do love. It's the self-destruction. Okay. And he imploded during COVID, and he's going to implode between now and November. Just watch how this thing unfolds.
Mm-hmm. But he did win. So the imploding, I think, is what we're also going to see between now and November this year. So just something to keep our eyes on, right? All right, Miss Andrea has a little funny for us. So let's share that, and then we'll say goodnight. All righty.
Oh.
I never had teachers like that.
No. Neither did I. How fun it would have been.
Kim, before we go, I just wanted to really answer and just put Steel Derek to bed tonight. And hopefully he'll come back next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday to hang out with us. We have a whole month for Black America. Yeah, just a month. You should feel ashamed. We should have every day for Black America. They built it. We brought it. We stood 10,000 foot deep into it. And you have the nerve to talk about just 1 month? You have it every day. So let's start celebrating each other, whether we are Latinos, whether we're Black, or whether we are other. Back over to you, Kim.
You're Black too.
Thank you, August. Absolutely. So before we go, please. Oh, we have a comment up. Sorry. Please like and subscribe. When you hit that like button, it helps the algorithm. It helps our channel reach more people. So we really, 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 really appreciate that. Thank you everyone in the chat who supports us every week that we're here. It was good to see everybody. And if you are so inclined to become a member and support this work, we would love to have you in our circle. Any last words from anybody tonight before we sign off?
I just have to say, just kind of buttonhole on what August said as well. If we would stop trying to whitewash our history, Black history is American history. We would not need a month if it was taught in its wholeness. We wouldn't have to have a special month for it. That's it.
Yep, right
on. All right, agree, 100%. All right, everybody, be safe. Have a great weekend. Unplug every now and then. Hug your family. Kiss your dog. All that good stuff. Should it be kiss your dog?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Tuesday,
Bye,
Wednesday,
everyone.
and Friday.
We the people unite.